You have reached your destination.
Yep. And on my journey to tie down the front end to the chassis, I have wasted probably another 12 to 13 hours. I had pieces of wood I was going to use. I discarded that idea. I've got, 14 gauge stock here, and thought, well, hell, I'll just make some brackets and tie them in to the chassis near the same brackets I made for my radiator. Okay, now this stuff is not flimsy and it is strong, so I'm going to tie it directly on. Okay, I've got both sides. Let's see. That's the other side. That's the left side. Sorry, right side. Angled it such a way so that when the chassis goes down, it'll land right on top of these two angled pieces, right? And I've got large enough holes on the angled pieces where there is the ability to adjust. Okay, so after 3 hours, 4 hours of making these brackets and so forth, I'm going to raise my raise the body back up off the chassis, and I'm going to tie them down to where they need to be. I'm going to mix up a bunch of tiger hair, and I'm going to put it liberally onto here. Okay, so I've cut these grooves into the metal so that the tiger hair has something to stick to. I'll let that dry probably overnight. I will then undo the bolts and then put fiberglass layers over it. Pretty much. Yes, that's what I plan on doing. So, over it being from this point onto the car, onto the body underneath, in ways that, so it's more strengthened. So let's put this down here. And off we go. I will need to do some, what do you call it? Trimming of some of the work I did in there. You can see right now the body is resting on those areas there, and I don't want that. So I'm going to trim that out just a skosh, and pause, and a skosh over here as well. Okay, so that the body doesn't rest on any of the pieces of, oh god damn it, my mind is so blank today. The pieces of up and downness, suspension, thank you. And go from there. Yep. And instead, the body will rest on the pieces that that belong to it. So, yeah. Okay, so I've put a layer of tiger hair. Again, this is short chopped fiberglass mat impregnated with fiberglass resin, and you mix it in with a cream hardener and get her going. I need to stop this so I can put the car down before it hardens. And we're done. So I could probably take the body off the off my little construct here and keep on going, but I've got things I got to do tonight, so I'm more or less done for the night. You can see how the tiger hair has squished out along the sides. That's fine by me. I'll just trim it tomorrow and then put more fiberglass on there. I've also used those screws to keep it in place and affix it to the body while this stuff cures. It's pretty hard now, so I'm not too awfully worried about it curing, but god damn. So tomorrow I will take all this apart. I will paint all the pieces except for what's mounted to the body, and cover up all of the holes I've drilled, blah blah blah, and there we go. So pretty happy with how it turned out. Other side's over there. Let's see, somewhere. I don't know. It's over there somewhere. And yeah, same thing. So enough for right now. And this is done. I ended up welding a second piece on the other side of each of these brackets to give it extra holding power, support. And I did a couple of other mods to the other pieces I'll show in a second. But so you're looking at a flange that holds down, downwards, and it's held on between two pretty stout flanges that rest on top or beneath the body. Beneath, or between the body and these flanges on each side, I've got tiger hair, fiberglass resin, and over that a couple layers of the very same. I'll pause. Oh fuck, I won't pause. I'll show you around. There's the other one. Whenever I made too much of a batch of resin, I would put it on other places that I thought needed it. I'm sure I'll sand it down, make it look pretty at some point. This came already cut out when I had the, with the inner guards, but yeah. So there's this, there's that, and I'm going to pause. And there's these. Using my oven to dry the paint so I can kind of bake it in better. This will have been the second coat, so I've got a good amount of coverage on all these brackets, right? What I did, here was the native piece. You'll recognize that. And on each side, as you can see, I welded on a stiffening piece so that it is stable in 3 dimensions, especially when it's put into the holders there. I didn't take a whole lot of opportunity to make the welds look pretty, but they're strong. I welded both sides. So again, as this flange will be in the up and down position, right, in the vertical. It had the ability to twist one way or the other as I was bouncing the body back and forth, and I realized that I needed another way of stabilizing that front end. So I put in these pieces here. Right, and they're not going to flex a whole hell of a lot, and it'll make the body much stiffer when it's finally mounted on that chassis. So, yep, let that bake for a little while longer. I'm due to put my oven on self-clean anyway. That's leftover apple pie. So I'll self-clean this thing. I'm not worried about the fumes because I live alone, so maybe that's why I live alone, right? You know what? There we go.